On the 3rd of February 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed one piece of paper that turned a single country's cigars into the most wanted object in American tobacco. Proclamation 3447 banned all trade with Cuba, and 4 days later, every Cuban cigar in the United States became contraband. Here is the part nobody tells you. According to his own press secretary, Pierre Salinger, the night before he signed, Kennedy sent him across Washington to hunt down 1,200 of his favorite Cuban cigars. He stockpiled the thing he was about to ban from everyone else, then signed the ban the next morning. The men who signed it were not growers or blenders. They were Cold War politicians who had never rolled a leaf, and they accidentally handed the cigar industry its single greatest marketing gift, forbidden fruit. The moment Cuba became illegal, it became legendary, and the price stopped tracking the leaf. The country on the band you reach for every week already has a value verdict coming, and you will not know whether yours is a bargain or just a flag with a feeling stapled to the price until we land on it. A single Cuban Behike runs north of $300. A box of 10 crosses $2,600. Not because the tobacco costs that, but because of a feeling that traces straight back to 1962. So we are going to do what nobody at the cigar shop ever will. Rank 10 countries by one number, what you actually get back in smoke for every dollar. Worst value to best. And if your favorite is built on a legend instead of a leaf, this is going to bite. Number 10 is the one you saw coming and the one that hurts the most. Cuba. Picture the scene every cigar smoker knows. A guy leans in at a party, lowers his voice, and says he can get you real Cubans. That whisper is the whole business model, and it is a trap two ways. First, industry insiders estimate as much as 90% of the Cuban cigars sold to tourists are fakes, so your $300 buys a verified Behike or a convincing counterfeit, and you cannot tell which. Second, even when it is real, look at the cost. A single Cohiba Behike, the flagship, runs $275 to $330 at retail. Habanos, the 50-50 state monopoly that controls every Cuban export, raises that price on purpose every time it wants your Behike to feel more exclusive, over and over in high-tax Hong Kong, until a box of 10 crossed $2,600. That is not a market price, it is a number chosen to make you feel something. Now here is the knife, pointed at your wallet, not at Cuba's tobacco. In Cigar Aficionado's blind panel tastings, the closest thing this industry has to a neutral judge, Cuba still averages around 90 points, among the highest anywhere. But a Nicaraguan cigar can score the same 90-something for $20. The Behike costs $300 and does not taste better. So when you light one, you are setting 15 $20 Nicaraguans on fire at once for no more smoke than one of them would have given you. You are not paying for tobacco. You are paying for a 1962 signature. Cuba is the most expensive history lesson you will ever set on fire. Number 9. The United States, and specifically the Connecticut River Valley. The crime here is hidden inside a wrapper most smokers love. That pale, silky, golden wrapper on your mild morning cigar is the most labor-soaked leaf in the business to grow. Farmers tent entire fields in cloth to choke the sun, then hand-pick it one leaf at a time, layer by layer up the stalk. So the second someone found a cheaper sky to grow it under, your wrapper quietly emigrated and nobody told you. That exact Connecticut seed leaf now grows under Ecuador's natural cloud cover for a fraction of the price, ships to the Dominican Republic to get rolled. And the band still says Connecticut, because nobody ever paid extra for a leaf that says Ecuador. Look at the cigar in your hand. If it says Connecticut, that leaf was almost certainly grown a continent away under an Ecuadorian sky, a place name the tobacco left years ago, and you are paying the heritage price for the postcard. Number 8, Cameroon. And this is a sad one rather than a scammy one. Pick up an Arturo Fuente with a Cameroon wrapper and tilt it under the light. That fine, bumpy tooth, thin and fragile and sweet, is the real thing, and the leaf that nearly stopped existing. Drought and instability battered the region until the crop came within a hair of vanishing. There are 2 reasons a leaf gets rare: everybody wants it, or it is dying in the field. Cameroon's is the second kind. So if that is the cigar in your hand, you are not paying for greatness. You are paying a surcharge on bad weather and bad luck. It earns a spot above Cuba because the premium at least buys something nobody else can grow. But you are betting real money on a leaf the climate keeps trying to erase. Number 7. Indonesia and the island of Sumatra. Once, the word Sumatra on a band meant something the leaf serious rollers bragged about. Then the ground shifted, and the band in your hand never updated. Picture the same Sumatra leaf going through 2 different doors. In one room, a roller hand bunches it into a premium cigar. In the other, it is fed by the ton into a European machine that spits out finished cigars by the million. Most of the real Indonesian crop goes through the second door, while the band on yours still whispers handcrafted heritage. You can still smoke a wonderful Sumatra-wrapped cigar, but if you chose it for the Indonesian heritage, there is the bite, the prestige is Indonesian, and the leaf is often punching a factory clock. Sumatra is a flag flying over a factory that moved. Number 6. Brazil. Unroll a dark, sweet cigar you have loved, and there is a real chance a leaf called Mata Fina from Brazil is doing the work in the blend, while another country's name sits on the band. You have paid for Mata Fina a dozen times and never once seen the words on a box. That is Brazil's whole problem. The worth is real, but you almost never pay for it on purpose. You pay for the brand that borrows it. Brazil is the session musician of the cigar world, brilliant on the track, and you never see the name. Number 5. Mexico. And here the ranking starts to turn. That dark, oily Maduro you reach for when you want espresso and cocoa and earth on your tongue, a huge amount of it is born in one volcanic valley in Veracruz called San Andres, where the leaf comes off the fields looking almost wet. When a blender wants that deep Maduro punch, this is the dirt they go to. The catch is that Mexico is close to a one-trick origin. You think Maduro, and not much else. But within that trick, the value is real, the price fair, and the leaf comes off the field looking like it was dipped in oil. If this is the first time anyone has told you the band on your cigar is selling you a place the leaf left years ago, subscribe before the top 3, because the cheapest cigar on this list scores the same as the $300 one, and I am about to name it. From here on, the value only climbs, and the money you spend and the smoke you get finally start telling the same story. Number 4. The Dominican Republic, and this one needs a careful hand. 8 billion cigars a year, they will tell you. Biggest in the world. They just do not mention that most of those got rolled by a machine, not a person. Strip those out and the real premium pile is a sliver, not the volume crown they sell you. What the Dominican Republic is dependable, smooth, refined, consistent, the choice that rarely lets you down. Hand a Fuente Hemingway short story to someone on a long evening, grown and rolled in the Dominican Republic. 92 points, about $7.35. And watch nothing go wrong. No bitterness, no harsh turn, no surprise. The ceiling is no joke either. The Arturo Fuente Opus X is grown start to finish in the Dominican Republic and goes head-to-head with anything on earth. But the real pitch is that $7.35, the cigar you hand someone when you cannot afford for them to be disappointed. Number 3. Honduras. The quiet bargain nobody brags about. Light a Honduran and you get full-bodied, rich, leathery smoke, the kind that talks back, and the prices are almost insulting in your favor. An Aladino Petite Corona is grown and made in Honduras, earns 92 points on the same blind panel that scores the Cubans, and costs under $6. Let that land. 92 points. Under $6. That is the same score class Cuba sells you for 50 times the money, and the difference is Honduras has no folklore, no whispered party hookup, no island mystique to inflate the sticker. Hand that cigar to someone who only smokes by price tag and watch their face when you tell them what it cost. That is the smoker's revenge. You bought the rating, not the reputation, and kept the difference. Honduras is what happens when a country sells the cigar instead of the story. Number 2, Ecuador. And this is the one almost nobody outside the trade understands. You have probably never lit a cigar and thought, nice Ecuadorian. But you have smoked Ecuador hundreds of times without knowing it, because Ecuador barely sells finished cigars. What it sells is wrapper, and it dresses a huge share of the premium world. Remember those cloth sun tents the Connecticut farmers sweat to build? Ecuador's farmers walk out and look up. The sky is already overcast, near permanent cloud cover filtering the sun for free. Same Connecticut seed and Sumatra seed leaf, same shade, none of the cost, which is the only reason the premium wrapper on half the cigars you have ever lit did not cost cost you double. Ecuador is the country you have been smoking your whole life and never once think. Number 1. The best actual value in the cigar world, Nicaragua. And here is the irony you are paying for. When Castro's revolution pushed Cuba's best growers into exile, some of them landed on this volcanic, mineral-rich soil and said it rivaled the dirt they left behind. So that legendary Cuban touch you have been paying $300 to chase, a lot of it quietly moved to Nicaragua and started charging $20. Now look at the scoreboard. By Cigar Aficionado's count, Nicaragua has earned the most Cigar of the Year #1 finishes of any country. The Padron 1964 Anniversary Torpedo took 97 points and Cigar of the Year, and it sells for around $20. That is the whole argument in one cigar. 97 points for $20, against a $300 Cuban stick that scores no higher and coasts on a 60-year-old embargo. 15 sticks for $1. On rating per dollar, on rarity, on smoke for your money, nobody touches it. Cuba sold you the legend. Nicaragua quietly built the best cigar. So we end where we started, in 1962, in a room of politicians who never grew a leaf and accidentally decided which cigars you would worship for 60 years. They made one country forbidden, and forbidden became expensive. And expensive got mistaken for good, so well that the biggest premium cigar market on earth still runs partly on that one signature. But the flag was never what you were paying for. The leaf was. The soil was. The score per dollar was. The flag just got the credit. So before you spend real money on your next box, ask 2 questions that cut through the romance. 1. Where was this tobacco actually grown? Not what country is on the band. 2. What did an independent blind panel score it? And what does it cost? Answer those honestly, and the smoke in front of you will tell you far more than any flag ever could.